like we need to fill like the first couple of minutes with this bullshitting anyway, so nobody shows up.
Yep.
Well, it's also recorded. We also have some and the podcast starts here.
Yeah, I think that we just start with like
the podcast started there.
At some point we'll go, okay, what do you guys think of this? And like you just kind of cut in there and then
what are we gonna talk about today?
Sometimes Jason will start it like mid-sentence, and it doesn't matter.
Well, the big stuff is Arcane.
On the dot.
Mr. J Sensational wants nothing. He doesn't want it to be spoiled about Jace, which we know only a very few things.
Everyone's already J Sensational. Cover your virgin ears. Everyone already knows about Jace. I'm sorry. Like we have been given the download. Twitter knows.
No, it's the like.
It was a joke. I was joking. Please stop.
I can't hear you over these microphones.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Headphones.
Oh, am I streaming in Legends of Runeterra? Please tell me I am. Inspired mentioned. I think I am because I was in Smash Bros for Saturday or whatever.
You're sure.
You're good.
Speaking of, that was a stream. Oh my god. So I played.
Jason. Okay, real quick before we jump into things. Jason, I love you. Please mute your mic when you're not talking. Everything that's going on in your house.
Can you push to talk in there? In OBS Ninja?
I don't know.
I have no idea.
That's pretty much what clicking on the mic on and off does, right?
You can't.
That's true. With like a Yeti.
There, we should all be doing.
Literally, that is how you push to talk. You push the mute button.
I like literally turn my mic on and off. Like I just press the big green button. You guys can't see it, but I'm holding it up, and then it turns red, and then I press it again.
Mic?
Yeah,
actual mic. This professional streamer up in here.
Yeah.
So you guys tell by like the sound quality. You know how gorgeous his voice is coming through.
Oh yeah.
I just assumed you had a gorgeous voice. I don't know.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. No, this is muted because it's got the. You can't see it again, but my headset mic has the red light that says it's not on. Otherwise, it pulls out, which you also can't see. But
so, what are we talking about in Runeterra today? What's going on?
I want to talk about Arcane. First of all, Jason and I got some sick boxes, which I'm sure we'll be opening later today, because I definitely don't know what's inside and haven't already opened it.
They were good for me.
But like, over the last day or two, I've seen like a billion collaborations with everything Arcane, just everywhere. Like Fortnite, that one battle royale game, like the first one.
PUBG.
PUBG. There was a League of Legends ad on the Burj Khalifa or something ridiculous.
What?
Like,
I saw that. That was cool.
Everywhere, man. You can get a Reddit avatar that's Jinx or Vi. Like, I mean, anywhere. They sat down at a table and went, name things, wrote them down, called them up, and said, we'll pay you money to put our shit on your stuff. And like, they just did it everywhere. I swear to God, because they're pushing Arcane harder than Riot has ever pushed anything ever. I feel like.
For sure.
I'm really hoping that means it's good and not bad.
The trailer.
Those are the two options, right?
It's gonna be.
Our range.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
It's gonna be good.
It looks. They're putting a lot on this, but like I've watched all the trailers and everything, and it looks so good.
Okay.
So the videos on Twitter not made you already cry? You know, it's gonna be emotionally a wreck.
Emotionally a wreck, yeah. Little Echo riding by, flipping off the policeman and enemy, which by the way is probably my favorite Riot music video of all time. I really like it. What's up, Slide Blue? Thank you for the 7 months. Insert any comment here.
I don't know if it beats Rise, but it's pretty solid.
Rise is good. It's
the animation.
I'm a big JID fan, so having animated JID singing my League of Legends thing or rapping my League of Legends thing was pretty sick. I was pretty excited about that. Rise is phenomenal.
Now, I don't really do much like TV media. Mostly I just hang out on like streams and I play a lot of video games because I'm a big fucking nerd like that. But I think I may actually like go and find the Arcane on Netflix because they have gotten me that hype. So it's working.
I've watched probably 5 TV shows in the last 3 years. It's been like Game of
Feel
Thrones, Queen's Gambit, The Boys, Squid Game, which I haven't quite finished, and then like one other show. But I will be watching Arcane the day it comes out. Probably on each day, if I can. Maybe not the first one, because I think I'll be playing Flesh and Blood in Florida. But for all the others. And then there's like the big event thing where you can go in like it's like an interactive experience. It's in a giant like warehouse, and then people dress up as the characters, and you go and talk to them, and it's like
What?
a whole thing. Yeah,
I didn't hear about this. This is
Excuse
cool.
me?
no, it's like a whole. It's in LA, and it's like $200 tickets, and you go, and it's like an interactive arcade experience, and it's like a whole thing. And I'm very excited about that. I signed up to get tickets because, you know, I'm an LPP, so I get, you know, just sneak my way in there. So yeah, they're going all out. Like they're really pushing this hard.
That's like that's almost like a mini Disneyland moment, right? It's
Yeah.
Like, are we gonna see Runeterra land next? Like,
That would
I
be
don't know.
insane. I mean, it's kind of like Runeterra Land, right? It's the same characters.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
Well, it sounds pretty cool, honestly.
Mm-hmm. And then, you know, more Runeterra focused, because that is, I think, supposed to be what we're talking about or something. The big event pass. We now know, shockingly, it's going to be Arcane themed. We don't really know anything about it. We saw like a very little clip of like the new PvE thing, but we didn't really see anything about it. It was just like a little, like a second in the video.
Yeah. Well, I'm more excited for the 10 cards that are going to come out. I don't remember the little, like, when they did these before, when they released, like, just the champ and a few cards.
Like Aphelios.
Was it Felios?
It was only
Yeah.
Aphelios, I think.
And
Well,
nothing
Aphelios
else?
Aphelios had a few other things. So he had like
Yeah.
the fangs. He had
No, just Aphelios was that champion expansion. I think that he was the only champion expansion we've ever gotten.
Is that they got Diego Akshan too, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
I think Ruben kind of semi-confirmed that this is another champion expansion. So I think we're getting like Jace and Jace related cards.
Yeah.
Which,
And-
to be fair, makes me kind of think Jace might be in Arcane. Like, it almost has to be.
We know him. We've seen him.
He's in
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Jace. Like he's been in the promo stuff.
You know.
And Jace Victor.
Well, I'm just fucking blind. Never mind.
I've been looking pretty hard at all of it, to be fair, because I'm really excited about it. Bouncy Man, thank you for the 8 months in the Prime. Yeah, I'm really excited about it all. I can't.
Do we know
Good.
when that's dropping?
10th.
The 10th.
Oh, okay. That's exciting.
Yeah.
That's a good amount of time. Well, it's like what, like 2 weeks, I think, before the open rounds of seasonals around there. That's like, hopefully it throws like.
Oh shit, you're right. Oh man.
we gonna see some Jace brews up in here.
Yeah, I should probably like hit Masters.
Oh god.
I'm still in flat, dude. I won
Let
like
it
10
happen
games in a
today.
row today playing Teemo Swain, and I was like, hell yeah, what's my rank? It's plat 1.
I mean, 10 games in a row, you popped off, man.
Yeah, I did well. I was like, sick, I must be close to Masters now, because I never like look. And then, yeah, plat 1. I was like, okay, I guess I got some work to do. So I'm going to be actually trying to climb it on stream after this.
I was excited by, you playing Teemo Swain. I'm like, okay, 10 games in a row. That's pretty good. But I didn't realize these were all in plat. Do we think this deck's actually good or what?
Actually, I do think it's quite good. I'm not sure if the Teemo is the direction, but like, I really like Teemo. I'm not sure if any of you caught the video I put out on it today, but basically I point out that Teemo, while there are other options like Ribbon or even like Ziggs, I really like the turn 1 elusive. And Teemo is like an absolute lightning rod of a card. People hate Teemo. And so like if you play, like I've had my Teemo's Vengeance, I've had them mini morph, like, and I can't even say that it's like the wrong play, because with Lecturing Yordle and the 3 Poké Darts, the poison darts, you flip Teemo like really easy. Just kind of happens.
Like, I actually think this deck might have solid tier 2 potential as well.
Yeah.
But let's be super clear here. This is not a Teemo Swain deck. This is a Swain Lecturing Yordle deck that happens to currently be playing Teemo.
Yeah. You just like you just have 3 more champion slots, and you're like, which one should I play? I did see some people moving towards Ribbon. I'm assuming mostly for the stats and because you get the little blade things, and then moving away from Poison Dart and going into Group Shot, which is also a good idea. But I haven't really like hated the fact that Poison Dart's slow. It like hasn't been a problem because I have 3 Poké Sticks anyway. It's like 3 Poké Sticks, 3 Death's Hands. So I like, yeah, I don't need Poison Dart to be fast as well. And I really like the Puff Cap thing. You haven't lived until you like have leveled Swain on the field, and then your opponent just draws 3 Puff Caps. Just stun everything. It's so good. That was your level ups.
It's definitely a bit of a scary deck to play against because they get to come from a bunch of angles, and the mini morph from Vandal City fixes a lot. I don't know if these decks are running mini morph yet. I haven't seen like a complete list, but if they aren't, I think they should be. Because I feel like the mini morph in that list from Vandal City fixes a lot of problems that the old Swain control deck had, which was that they couldn't one action kill anything, and that got them in trouble a lot.
Yeah, especially with Lee.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I could totally see something like that. I've been taking stress defense a lot with Concologist. For essentially that reason.
Listed.
It's just a really, really good card. I don't want to put it in the main. Definitely not. The list feels pretty tight. You could move a couple of cards around, especially for something really impactful like Minimorph. But yeah, I really like having the flexibility of Concologist and the Vandal City stuff. Oh my god, though. I feel this way, and I know Mocklai tweeted out that he feels this way, and I think most of you guys feel this way. I'm so tired of the best deck in the format being a champion that used to be good in the Vandal City package. Like, maybe not the best decks, but like every single deck that's new is just a champion that used to be good in the Vandal City package. Every single one.
I'm just tired of a lot of it.
Like what else are you talking about specifically? Like I get Swain Teemu. What's the other?
Let's look at my
Like
YouTube.
Bobby?
I have the Shellfolk.
Yeah, Zed Poppy, all the Shellfolk stuff.
I mean, that's just the Shellfolk deck. Like it literally,
That's just-
it's just
That's
itself.
a
And then you
Shellfolk
open
deck.
a
That's
couple
the
cards of
Shellfolk
whatever
deck.
engine you want to.
The Zoe Poppy.
Zoe Poppy.
Tara Poppy.
Poppy
Meta
everything.
juggernaut, Zoe Poppy.
It has been popping up. But no, the Teemo Sejuani Vandal deck,
Pink City.
the
City?
Lux Shellfolk deck. I'm not saying that like these are all exactly the same, but like
Yeah.
it's kind of like when Taran was in its peak.
Yeah, it's like
just like-
Aphelios plus X.
It's a Felios
And those cards are very good.
Okay, when you take a bunch of relatively low mana, low commitment cards and you staple extra cards onto them, you're going to want to play them with lots of different things, and they're going to be good with lots of different things. This is true.
And I don't hate that. I'm just tired of seeing it. And then as a content creator, I have to pick out cool and interesting decks. And that just happens to be half the cool and interesting decks. Is just like old champ plus Vandal City. And I would like to mix it up a bit. So spoiler alert, I think tomorrow's video is going to be Poros. Not with Vandal City.
What is it Vandal City for?
It's not Vandal
It's
City
a
Poro. It's
There's
just normal
Poros in Vandal
Poros.
City.
Oh, you could Concologist into Poro Snack.
Amazing.
True.
That would actually be pretty
Oh,
sick. Not gonna lie. All right. So what have you guys been playing lately?
I mean, I've been messing around with Assault Thresh and FTR. I have gone back to like the hard control decks, and I've been having a lot of fun with them.
I like FDR. Can you shoot me your little listipoo?
Yeah, maybe.
I would also
Hold
like
up.
it.
Sure.
Just toss it in the chat.
Yeah, I'll drop it in Twitch chat when I can find it. Like computers being slow.
I love Field Rush.
It's a really interesting deck, and it kind of gets to creep back into the metagame after the rally nerf, right?
Okay.
Because some of the things that it has the hardest time with are always the rally decks, and I'm actually finding that the way they're being built right now, and with all the rallies always being 4 mana, that matchup isn't even that bad anymore. It might even be favored.
So you're not having issues with like Zed Poppy being literally everywhere?
Yeah.
I am not having issues with that deck being everywhere.
Is this a Jordan I'm really good at the game statement, or is this a like you actually think so?
Like, trying to not have this be an arrogance moment. I don't fucking know anymore because I try to make good
Yeah,
decks,
you
and I
can't
feel
ask
like they're good
Jordan,
decks, and then I give it to other people who are like, Jordan, this is shit. And I'm like, I'm winning with it. They're like, fuck you.
That's the same thing with that guy. Cephalopod on like Lux Pod.
Yeah.
You're just like, bro, I know you're gonna win. Like it's like you won a lot with the deck, but I could give you anything and you'll probably win a lot. Like this doesn't actually mean anything to me.
Have you guys played that deck?
Yeah, I played it quite a bit actually. It's not fantastic.
Serious.
I just don't see it. I don't get it. Like he's hyping it up. It's like it's undefeated. It's the best deck in the game by far. And I'm like, I can't hate anything.
I think it's better in tournaments though, right? Like Lee Sin did
Yeah.
that all the time. It was bad on ladder and they would just crush tournaments. Because when you get to ban things and you're not up against like the same sort of like top meta decks all the time, then it like does much better in like the rest of the field. I think it's maybe something like that. Also, people aren't used to playing against it, which is probably pretty important.
I have been winning with the deck, right? It's not like every time I 2-up I lose. But I
asked Steph on Twitter, like, is this a tournament thing? Are you banning Protect? He's like, no, it's just good. Yeah. Don't give a fuck. I don't ban for it.
But if that were the case, it'd be good on ladder.
It's okay.
It might be good on ladder. I haven't played the deck. I tried the deck once, and I sat there and I went, wait, how do I win games with this? And then I put it back down. Because I don't like decks that I don't have win conditions other than like pray my opponent runs out of stuff. That doesn't seem like it's generally going to be a good plan.
I played 2 Radiant Guardians in a game and lost to burn. And then the next game I played 2 Radiant Guardians in a game and lost to burn, and I deleted the deck. I re-downloaded it to make a YouTube video on it later, but I was like, this fucking sucks.
I'm not gonna lie. The reason that Radiant Guardian works is because you're playing it in Sivir Akshan, so you have all the strike and the pump spells. It's not just like you play this card and the burn deck dies. It's you play this card, you buff it like 30 times.
It's like Solari Sunforger. If you're not playing 3 single combats, you cannot play Solari Sunforger. Because it doesn't get to do the thing.
Yeah.
So for those of you who have played the deck, what are we thinking it beats? Does it beat anything, or?
I think it beats lots of stuff. Like the deck has a lot of power to it. My biggest issue with it is that it's like a little clunky. Like on one side you have like things like Poppy and like the 3-mana challenger guy, and the other side has like Lux and Shellfolk and like some spells. And so it's like you're kind of doing 2 different things.
Yeah.
But when like the right part lines up against the right opponent, like you just blow them away. So I think it could be even better. Like I don't know if there's like a better thing to do than Poppy, but like you have a lot of like the good Demacia cards, so you can like hold the fort. Lux does a great job of like coming down and stopping stuff, and just when she levels up, she can like take over a game. Shellfolk does the same thing. It can like take over a game, just bury its opponent card advantage. Occasionally, you just like play a bunch of dudes and throw down a Poppy, and everything becomes bigger, and you just single combat and sharp sight stuff and run them over.
You get to play Lecturing Orbital.
It's true.
Yeah,
which I have a big opinion that it is very good.
I really think that like the Shellfolk Lux package is very good, and maybe I don't know if either we haven't found the right list yet, or it's just missing enough cards to make it like a cohesive deck. And once it has those cards, it's going to be like a real monster.
I think the answer to what the deck is good against is it's good against other mid-range decks, right? Because it has the ability to trade down boards, provide pressure, and then close out games, right? Like, it's going to be good as long as your opponent is going to run out of stuff. When I say its way to win the game is to hope your opponent runs out of stuff and dies, that works against some people, right? If I'm playing against, like, I don't know, a Sivir deck or a Scion deck, like decks that have very simple, straightforward game plans of I'm going to do this and hope it works. That's the point where it's going to be good. But the problem with the deck for me is that this is kind of something that's always been my problem with playing Lux decks in general. It feels really awkward anytime my opponent is either playing control or playing something like dragons where they just go, oops, Asol. And I'm like, okay, I die? Like, I'm not sure what my plan is there.
Jason and I played it against Bandletree, and you're just like, what are we supposed to do here? Because like they never run out of cards, ever. And yeah, we just like lost super hard. You know, Minimorph takes, we go Shellfolk, Minimorph. Oh. And then like even if you get Lux going, you only like can cast so many like 6+ mana things to get your whoopoo, you know what I'm talking about.
Spark.
Yeah, the spark thing, and then they just play stuff on the board. It was like almost bad to shoot things because they just were waiting to play the other things in their hand. And so that matchup felt horrible.
Yeah, I mean as Tree does against any deck that can't remove Tree or run through all their guys.
Right, so it's what it is it feels like it's a mid-range deck that's good against other mid-range decks, but is weak to both aggro and control. And to me, to be like a really good mid-range deck, you need to be good against one of the two and okay in mirrors. And it's very good in mirrors, but it seems like you can go both under it and over it, which feels like not a good place to be.
I
I'm gonna
think
vote that.
there's definitely aggro decks that's probably good against, though, I would imagine. Like, it is a Demacia deck with
But
big
are
guys,
they
short
good
sight, single
aggro
top.
decks?
Yeah, it's probably just like Ping City.
Are
and stuff.
any decks good aggro decks?
Ziggs Poppy,
Yes.
pretty good.
Yeah, I'd say that deck doesn't suck. It's also probably the one that it's best into. Like, Ziggs Poppy probably, in my mind, beats Lux Poppy. I would say Ping City probably doesn't because it's slower and would really struggle against Radiant Guardian. Would you play like 3 of?
He feels a lot less like an aggro deck, not gonna lie.
Yeah, I also just think
Yeah.
that deck's bad. Like, I still don't think the deck's very good.
I love that deck. How dare you?
We've had this conversation so many times.
I know.
We go up against Pink City, and I'm like, I think this deck's bad. And he's like, stop.
My baby. It's like the only deck I can win with.
We all have one of those right now, I feel.
Oh yeah.
Mickey.
Oh yeah.
Rocking the Sivir Akshan still.
Yeah. I've changed my mind. I don't think I'm going through a slump. I just think I'm not improving right now, and that feels pretty bad.
Yeah, I get that.
Interesting.
I told you.
I mean, Sivir Akshan is still very solid. I was playing games that at the end of my last stream. I'm like, I honestly think that at least for me, this might not be the same thing for everyone, but for me, Sivir Akshan might be the hardest deck in the game to play correctly right now, and it is very rewarding and very fun to play. Like, as the guy who plays Assault Thresh and FTR, I think Sivir Akshan might be the hardest deck in the game to play, but I really enjoy it.
I agree. I've always found that to be the case. I find that the play patterns are just so unlike anything that I'm used to, and I just found myself like kind of being lost all the time. And like, well, when you see players that are very good at playing the deck, it's like, oh man, they just played on like a totally different sort of axis with a different sort of strategy. That's not typical like aggro combo or control. It's like kind of like it's just its own sort of thing that you need to kind of like Aurelia Azir sort of, except maybe even harder to figure out.
But I think that the deck's a lot more complicated than like any Demacia deck in the fucking game. Like, it's not even close.
Than any Demacia deck has ever been.
Yeah, no. Some of the lines, especially around the Horde, deciding whether to draw or whether to bring your champion back, there's so many incredibly difficult lines that you have to see like 2 turns ahead. And it's really hard. And you're right, it is incredibly rewarding. I think it's by far one of the strongest decks in the game. I think second only to like Scion right now. It is very, very good.
I would have to agree. There's a lot of times when I'm playing the deck where, 2 turns before, I feel like, okay, normally I wouldn't use a pump spell here, but I'm going to use it because I want my landmark to be exactly this much so that it pops on my turn so that I can burst 5-2 and then open or something like that, right? And that's not something that's like immediately, you don't like see that immediately. It took me a long time to actually learn how to play Sivir Akshan because Demacia decks are like, first off, just aren't my strong suit in general. Like, I don't like to play decks with big units. That's not my thing. I like to play decks with lots of spells. But once I started to like really figure it out, the deck just felt so much more powerful than like anything else. It did get nerfed, but it's still, I agree, like probably the second best in the format.
Yeah, I just love the deck. I can't seem to play anything else. I was actually wondering though, have any of you guys been playing Vanguard Sergeant in Sivir Akshan? For those of you who have been playing the deck.
I really like the 3-mana guy that makes the landmark.
Me too.
So
Vanguard is so important in that deck when you're missing Akshan. Like, I tried Sergeant for a while. I was on the 2-2-2 split with Merciless Hunter and Vagabond. And it was fine. I didn't use for Demacia. I didn't use it very often. It was kind of nice to have a 3-4, but I'm off of it now.
Yeah. I went down to 2 Brightsteel Tracker to make room for 7 3-drops. So I'm on 3 Merciless Hunter.
the burst usually feather?
Yeah, I'm on 2 Fleet Feather. And I'm on 3 Merciless Hunter, 2 Sergeant, and 2 of the Vakaran. And I've actually felt he's really solid. Just like a lot of the Sivir hands feel really the reason that I shied away from that deck is a lot of the hands can feel really awkward. And actually just having a 3-mana 3-4 is a big deal. Like, I don't play the 6-mana card that often, but every once in a while you play it and then you rally and they die. But just having a 3-mana 3-4 to play on turn 3 or 4 can be a big deal sometimes, because he'll often put 6 or more damage on Sivir, on Sivir's level up. And at the same time, and this is it sounds like it should be niche, but I had this happen like 3 times over 5 or 6 games, he protects you from aloof travelers, which is fucking hilarious. It turns your opponent playing aloof into a great thing for you.
That's actually really funny. It's yeah, aloof is a 4-mana 2/3 that draws you a card.
Yeah. And that sounds like it's kind of like a copium thing, right? I hate that.
At least it protects you from aloof. Yeah.
It sounds like it's a thing where like I'm teched for aloof that makes this a good card, right? But when you have to realize is a 3-mana 3/4 is just solid, right?
It's the biggest stat line in the game at 3 mana.
Yeah, and it's really good to just have that kind of fort holding ability in a Demacia mid-range deck, which is what Sivir very much is. And so any extra advantage on top of that is great and just makes Loyal Badger Bear cry into his soup. And I'm cool with that.
I hated that card.
Yeah, that's fair. Like I tried like off the as soon as the thing came out, like I tried the 2/2/2 split, and I really hated that. Like whenever I played the Sergeant, it wasn't a Vagabond, and I didn't have the Palace that game. And then I'd run out of cards, and I'd be like, at least I have 4 Demacia, and then I'd lose. But I kind of see where you're coming from. Like I feel like Fleet Feather Tracker is the card to go for, because so often with a lot of these like fast decks, it's just a 2/1, and it blocks, and then that's it. Like it's not really played much as a 1-drop.
It's the worst
unless
one,
obviously
for sure.
Yeah, I mean, out of the Treasure Seeker, which is just completely
bonkers still. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I'm comfortable going down below 5 1-drops just because I don't want to sell it into aggro. But I feel like going 5 1-drops, 7 3-drops, just it makes the deck just a little bit more solid, which is kind of what I was always missing in the deck. And if you're not as big a fan of the Sergeant as I am, I actually really like him. You can even go 3/3/1.
That's what
I think having the 7th 3-drop just makes the deck feel just more consistent all around.
I'm going on board with that. It took me a little time to realize that the games where I did not have the landmark were like so much worse than the games where I did. Like I used to mulligan the 3-drop. I know you guys just said the name like 4 times, but I can't remember it. Vagabond. Yeah. I used to like when I first started, I was like mulligan Vagabond, right? Just like, I just want Akshan. But like a lot of times if I can afford it, that's like one of my highest prioritized keeps. Because getting that going and then playing a leveled Akshan later is like so good. Or finding whatever you need, be it a rally, your Sivir, concerted strike or whatever. Just really, really, really nice.
I think that like the landmark is one of the things that separates it from other Demacia decks. Like Shen Jarvan just runs out of cards because you're just trading like 1-for-1 over and over and over. But like this deck has so much draw and has so much, the predicted draw is really good to finding exactly what you need to hit. I think that cutting down on Vagabonds is just not the right place to be, because if you do miss Akshan, you're just in such a bad position.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm gonna agree to disagree on this one. I like the landmark. I think it does important, powerful things. I think 5 copies of the deck is fine. I think the 6th one is often overrated. Having double drawing that card or drawing that card in Akshan, I'm often not that big a fan of either. It just feels like it's just not getting the same kind of value. It often trades 1-for-1 with like my opponent's 3/2.
Yeah.
The card, it's definitely a solid card in the deck, but I was kind of already looking for an excuse to cut it. So I feel really good on the 2/2 with the Sergeant.
Okay, yeah, I could get by that. I'll probably continue to run the Vagabond, but I can't fault you for that. Definitely not. I do think that as we get closer to seasonals, because this is what I was thinking earlier. I was like, okay, it's about time for me to start being like buckling down and like playing the game, and not just for YouTube videos. So I was like, okay, I gotta figure out what I want to play for seasonals, because that's coming up really fast. But now the entire talking point is gone, because the wrench that is new cards is being thrown in the mix. I can't speculate about the other cards.
Are we not allowed to tell them yet what the cards are?
You're supposed to hold it until like the 10th. I think it was the 8th. There's something we're supposed to hold it until.
Okay. Yeah, like we know Jace, and then I don't know if did anybody else get the thing.
We're supposed to hold it.
We should probably
until
be very careful about what we're saying.
I talk about it. But I'm really excited to see any kind of shakeup. I'm worried that the power of Bandle City will kind of nullify it, though.
Yeah, I'm worried that Jace just won't do enough, because the thing we know about him, like from a public.
You want to
audience,
take
like-
your headphones out, Jay Sensational, before we talk about what we know about him?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
and I've seen it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Go ahead.
We know that it's like the 6+ spell cost package,
Like a
and
Lux. The Mage Seeker stuff.
yeah, and it's hard for me to visualize that being really, really good. So I'm kind of worried that like he actually just won't do anything, and we're just gonna play the same game we're playing right now.
Yeah.
You think you want to run Hex Tech Transmogrifier in your deck?
No, I don't.
You can run Worse Remembrance. The one that makes the lethal
Unbelievable
contraption.
innovation. Yes.
That's pretty hot.
I mean, you could just run actual remembrance. Like,
Yeah, but why not run both? Oh yeah, because one of them's
Oh, but you can't
horrible.
discount it though. Doesn't count, right?
Yeah, you don't want to discount it. Well,
if we're talking about the leaked info we have on Jace, then I think that Jace being a good enough card will come more from the fact that he's just a very solid body. Like, I think Jace is closer to Vi than he is to Karma, and I'm cool with that.
yeah. And Jace is P&Z. Obviously, right? He's in Arcane. He lives in Piltover and Zon. So, which is interesting because Lux didn't really fit into a P&Z shell.
Yeah.
What do you mean Luxheimer was so good?
Is that what it was? You do get to run like the 3 mana, like make a 6+ refill,
Flash.
which I actually think is like really sick. I like that card. Is it like really that good? Probably not, but I like it. I think it does cool things. And the Mage Seeker cards were always like kind of close to being good. The problem was 6+. Outside of literally Remembrance, all the 6+ spells are like terrible.
That's true. I mean, Remembrance isn't even that good. Like,
Yeah. Okay, it was pretty good on 3 though. If you just hit the Scout guy, it was pretty.
like
nuts.
in like a year ago.
Okay,
maybe.
yeah. Just let me.
I'm not, like, these days, it's basically, if you play Screeching Dragon on 3, it's busted. Otherwise, it's pretty bad.
I usually.
What do you guys think of this? So we're talking about like Jace himself, but like there's like 9 other cards we think, right? And so I was just looking back really quickly at what the Aphelios release gave us, and we got some like busted stuff. We got Gifts from Beyond, the Flight, Sky Shadows, the Fangs.
I was gonna say it's just fangs. We got some busted stuff like fangs
No. We got
Bang.
stress
Worry,
testing.
Warriors,
we got-
guys, stress
Oh, that's
testing,
true.
Lucky,
and temple.
and stress testing. Yeah, so like there was a lot of stuff in there. That was 15 cards though, so we're getting 50% less. So we think. But I was thinking that like, because it's Arcane, like I kind of feel like that's gonna make them, because it's a small amount of cards and because it's Arcane, I feel like they have to make it like splash, right? Like imagine if all 10 cards come out and it's just like wah wah. Like I feel like almost for sure they're like, go like, you know what? Make it insane. Make it, we know it's gonna be good, and maybe we'll pull it back later. But like blow this up and make a lot of hype. What do you think of this theory?
I think that's
Go ahead, you first.
that's definitely what a lot of people are hoping for, right? Like we want to see things get changed. We want to see the new stuff to brew with. And I think the hope is that in that case, it will be closer to like the KDA set than anything. Because like the KDA set just rocked the metagame. Like it just created entirely new archetypes.
That's exactly what I want to see. I want to see. I mean, I didn't play pre-KDA, right? But I played at the height of Go Hard or whatever. Like when Targon was just released and Go Hard had yet to be nerfed. That's when I started. So I started really playing. And so, yeah, I would love to see something like that, but I am willing to bet money that it will not change anything. It will. There will be a couple things that will be splashed in, but I'm willing to bet you money that it will not make a big impact.
All right, day one, Jace by tier 0. Let's fucking go. I've been challenged.
I would be happy to pay money if that happened. I'd be like, hell yeah, that was worth $50 or whatever, right?
How do you define like a big impact? Like how many meta
like,
decks
we
do you
gotta,
need
we
to
gotta
come out
write
of
this.
this?
You need a tier 1 that was not previously there, and you need a previous tier 1 to be unseated. That would be my definition.
that and makes it a little harder.
Yes.
Right? Because
Yeah.
I don't know if we're gonna like suddenly make Lee Sin or Sivir or Scion bad. I don't
Not
know if
bad,
that's
not
gonna
bad,
happen.
but like maybe just less good. I don't know if you have a deck that's like maybe tier 1.5. You're like, look, it changed. And I'm like, I'm just gonna run the same 3 decks in seasonals because they're the best things. Like, then it's not how much did it really change, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, we were talking about the KDA thing. I mean, like Go Hard and FTR, they literally overwrote everything that had come before them. They were just that good.
They were like the 2 cards, right? Like the 2 decks were like Go Hard and FTR.
Yeah.
Sure, but that's saying that basically we made 2 tier 1 decks, right? That didn't erase. I wouldn't say it erased everything that came before it. Like, I mean, I played Targon in that seasonals. It went fine.
Yeah, I mean, let's just have two big changes. You can have 2 tier 1 decks that weren't there before. Make something bad that was originally tier 1, like that kind of stuff. I think I don't see it. But a pretty big card pool right now, and stuff's really good. It's really good.
That's true.
That's a good point. As the card pool gets bigger, it becomes more and more difficult for new cards or even like new patches, like we just saw, to actually make a significant change, right?
And honestly, the question is whether, like, definitely new patches. Like, we definitely want the patches to be huge and be the things that make the changes. But new card pools, if they're small, you almost don't want them to make changes. Like, if there's a big new card pool, you definitely do, because it's like introduce new archetypes and shift things up.
Yeah.
But like a small new card pool making the kind of changes that Majin talking about, almost by definition means the design team fucked something with those cards.
Yeah, those cards are busted, right? Yeah.
I'm not sure that's a good thing.
But you know what though? Like the alternate to that, like the Aphelios expansion was busted.
Yeah,
right. But it was also pretty fun for a while, until like it just became Aphelios everything. But at the beginning there, it was pretty fun.
It was fun for exactly a week, and then everybody started complaining as hard as they possibly could.
I had more. I had fun for longer. I had fun until TFIZ was just.
I was also on the Aphelios bandwagon, so I was having a good time.
I was too. I loved that expansion, but people who weren't playing Aphelios or TFIZ were like, "Well, the fuck am I supposed to do?"
I don't listen to those people.
Definitely became too. That definitely became too much, but. I gotta say though, what would you rather have? Would you rather have the Aphelios expansion where, you know, things were super fun and crazy and exciting and then they had to be pulled back? Or would you rather have like something more similar, like basically like nothing changed?
I think because did you have more stuff to say?
It's fine. Go.
So I actually agree with what am I? I think all of us want an expansion, a champion expansion that really changes the game right now. We want new shit. We want a lot of stuff to be really good. We want old kings to be dethroned, baby. We want things to be shaken up. But like what Am I said, that's not what these are supposed to do. They're supposed to maybe enhance things, like the Mage Seeker type stuff, right? This could possibly bring this archetype into light, and that's really exciting for a small package of card release. But we're pretty starved for change at the moment because it's been so long since we have had card release, and the balance patch didn't shake things up as much as we had hoped, that we're hoping this does it for it. And I don't think it would be healthy for the game if it did. I think these champion expansions should, possibly bring a couple things up, maybe bring one thing down, but it should just kind of open up a couple new avenues to play, and then the big champion expansions or the patches should be the really big shakeups. Do I want it to be a big shakeup? Yeah, I totally do. But I don't think that's what this was planned as.
But you like I think you're overestimating how much, you know, control anyone would have to be like, oh, we'll put this card in or these cards, and then we'll know exactly how that's going to play out.
No, you're right.
You just don't know, right? Because like imagine the Shellfolk deck gets the cards that it like needs to make itself like a whole deck, and now that becomes like a huge pillar of the meta, and that just pushes everything else around now. Everything that, you know, if you can't beat this deck, like you get pushed down. If you can, now you get pushed up. And so just everything gets mixed around. And so like you're talking about so many different trees here of so many different decks getting affected. Like they don't know. It's impossible to know, frankly. It's so difficult.
Yeah, you're right.
Are you saying that in your estimation, Glorious Evolution Shellfolk is not at the top of the metagame right now? Because
I would never say such a thing. Don't put words into my mouth. Okay? Yeah.
I would say such a thing.
Blasphemer.
But you were asking what I would rather have, and I would rather have, like right now, I want it to be busted and then have to be scaled back. But I think over the course of time, well, I could also just wait 3 weeks and then we have the other expansion or whatever.
You almost have to do that with a best of 1 format like we have. You have to just make it crazy and then change it and make it crazy again and change it. Like you have to.
All right.
Otherwise, you just get staleness.
Bust out the new cards and give me a Felios back. Let's go. Let's go full busted format. Let's do this.
Oh, thank
Can
you.
we get TF Fizz back, please?
Yeah, I'll take TF Fizz.
I did.
Yes.
Already.
But
Go hard
I'm
on
on the side with
You're
the
back
more conservative side of things, especially because I think like if we look at Aphelios drop, Aphelios didn't really have like a package, right? We had Temple and Fangs, but Aphelios didn't like need that, or those cards didn't need Aphelios. And with a card like Jace, when we already know he has like a somewhat like restrictive level up, I expect there to be like some support cards for him, right?
What
and
is
then
level?
Arcane being, I don't know,
Cast 2/6+ customs.
something
in a
along
game,
those lines,
or see
right?
it.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think it's in.
No way.
No way. It's
Like
Holy
that
crap.
right?
horrible.
No way.
Yeah.
But like even with the Arcane theme, I expect a lot of it to be in PNZ as well. So maybe like a few regions get like 1 card each or something like that. And honestly, that's just not gonna be that great. Or like that's not gonna be like very impactful and very that
Takes block
mixing
position.
things up. Like maybe it'll make like a deck better, like if Shellfolk got like a second trinket trade, for example. Or like if TFA's got stress testing. But beyond that, it's hard to like breed out like new archetypes from that. And I'm gonna be thinking it's gonna be relatively small, or just relatively PNZ focused, which also wouldn't really impact the meta that much.
I think that ideally it just spices things up for like 2 weeks, right? We have
That's what we need,
seasons
right?
in
Yeah.
literally like what 4 weeks, and then we have an expansion right after that. Like it just needs to spice things up for a little bit.
Mhm.
It doesn't need to be the most broken thing in the world that completely changes the meta. Just give us a few new decks.
Yeah.
Maybe something that really beats Scion. That'd be nice.
That, thank God, please. But like, if it is, like Jason Seychelles says, if it is PNZ focused, which wouldn't be surprising because it's Arcane, which only takes place in PNZ as far as we know, because that's like the whole setting and storyline, then that's probably tough because you're putting cards in PNZ, the region that Scion uses, and historically not a good region against Scion.
Yeah.
But
It's hard to imagine. Sorry, you go.
if you put in a card in PNZ that is good against Scion somehow,
There is one. Coup de grace.
Oh my God.
Sorry, what is?
Go home.
Wait, does that work?
I not know what.
Yes,
that-
but
Oh,
no.
wait, it doesn't work, right? It just
Is
it's
it
the kill.
followers?
Oh no, it's follower. It doesn't even do it.
Oh, right.
Or is that-
I forgot.
it's not
It's
followers,
oh my
right?
God.
Panicy's like, bro, why don't you want to play
Okay.
Bilgewater into Scion? You can play Sunk Cost. It's so
Exactly. You got it. That's
No,
over.
but like if they printed mini morph for PNZ, it might be okay.
yeah. Yeah. That's
You're
a
good.
point.
It's 6
Me-
mana.
Not even necessarily mini morph, but this is a look at other card games we went. For any Magic players out there, there are plenty of cards in Magic that read if this thing would die, exile it, right? You give PNZ a spell that's like a damage spell and says if this thing would die this turn instead of generate it, Scion's fucked.
That could be a thing. I really like those spells in Magic.
Like
they were
a-
always like slightly
Yeah.
downed in power to their
Yeah.
non-exiling counterparts, like
It's
their
just like an
flames.
anti-last breath card in general. PNZ would love one of those, right?
Mm.
Yeah, that'd be
Be
super sick. Actually.
crying in its grave.
Mhm.
Anivia is kind of paid for a lot of other
Swords to plowshares, please no.
No, not that far. Not that far. Too much.
Yes, give it to me,
You can have swords to plowshare if I get Dark Ritual.
No. Stop.
Mama. Mama, please. It is hard to imagine the format getting shaken up like, basically Poppy being dethroned or Scion being dethroned. Like those cards are just so cracked. They're so good. And also just the like we were talking about earlier, the Vandals,
Like
city
package.
stuff. The package is just like it's exactly what Targon was. It's just like it's just too good. It needs to come down a peg. Not 100 pegs, Riot. Please let it survive for Targon.
Targon's back, man. I've been playing Targon.
I've been playing a bit of Targon.
right now.
The Solari Priestess buff is like
okay.
a really big deal.
Yeah.
It's like a really big
That
deal.
was a good one. Yeah.
I'm still with Aikido though. This doesn't need to be a shake 'em up expansion. It's got to tide us over for a week.
Yep.
Or 2 weeks.
Bruh, there are Arcane advertisements being projected up the side of the tallest building in the world. Okay, we going big, baby. We going big. Nothing small.
Okay, but what that means is they want it to touch on everything. That doesn't mean they need it to revolutionize everything. If you get enough little moments, then you're gonna end up with a big one.
Yeah. And then we do get what are we talking about? Is a new patch coming? Yes, the 10th. In 9 days, we get a big patch of stuff. We get the patch is big. Mega event pass, PvE expansion, that's all big.
Oh, that's true.
Not just the cards, but we also get a champion expansion of Jace. Speaking of, the PvE, what did they call it? They call it like a mega PvE expansion or something, or major PvE expansion. The first time they've used that term. Any clue what that might be? What's up, Cat?
I have my fingers crossed for something that looks like STS.
Slay Inspired. Okay, I was like, I've never heard of that.
Sorry. I have my fingers crossed for something that looks like a lot like Slay the Spire, because I will lose so many hours to the PvE if that is true. I will be gone. I will not play these at all.
Yep.
Damn, JC, you just
Yeah,
got
this
flex
is the
on us like
sponsored part of this podcast.
Are you gonna do your own arcade box unopening on my stream before I do my own arcane box opening on my own stream?
I think.
No. He's not good. Don't show us.
I think we have officially been flexed on that.
Oh my god, you got the sweater? Wait, you got the sweater?
I got the sweater? Oh my god! Hey! Did you get... I got 3 sweaters.
He's like, there's a PS5 in here.
Oh my god.
I am excited about the PvE. I never thought I would say that, but Lab of Legends convinced me that...
Get your freaking box, bro. Let's do some unboxing.
No. This is the Runeterra show. I do think that the PvE is going to be exciting. Lab of Legends was really fun, and I didn't expect it to be. But it let me do all the busted ass stuff that I always wanted to do. You know, it let me. It's like power fantasy. Runeterra.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. And then you get to do all sorts of wild stuff, like a swim with winning with no attacking and stuff. That was pretty wild.
The swim like attempts were all kind of cool. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, those are really really creative ideas. I really like that. That was super fun. And then the event pass has been. I mean, the event passes in the past have just been like some cosmetics and stuff, right? Like a guardian, a board.
Most,
You know,
I think.
yeah.
I got baited into getting the last one just for the ribbon emote.
Oh, the Pulp Fiction one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that I got the Spear Blossom one or whatever. No, the KDA one. I got the KDA one right at the tail end. And I got Queen Kit, who's the only pet I've ever used. It's my personal favorite.
I would love that. I'm
the
very
Ari tail,
jealous.
the Ari KDA tail.
It's super
Little
cute.
kitty cat.
It's the best one, man.
Hour.
And then if you click her head, she blows you a little kiss. It's fantastic. I don't need any other pet. If I'm losing, I know Queen Kit got me. If nobody got me, I know Queen Kit
Down
got
bad over there.
Anything else you wanted to discuss?
I think that's about what we were looking for.
All right, then. I'm excited to try out that FTR list. I gotta try that out, and then actually, Jason, I saw you were playing a few days ago some Zillion Nasses again. Can you talk about that?
No, it's pretty bad.
Okay. Damn. I missed you at the deck list. I was like,
It's like I think it does like okay into like you can catch like the Poppy rally, like the elusives off guard, just because like I think time bombs are like really OP if you didn't have to play Zillion. Well, I still think Zillion's just like a fine card, but just like the and like Ruination just like really good right now because people don't expect to play into it. And so you like catch some noobs off guard and then drop like a 2020 Gnosis. But it's a little bit too reliant on like Gnosis atrocity. But right now probably isn't the best idea.
I wasn't a huge fan of Zillion Nassus before, and I don't think it got better.
No.
I will admit that, like, you start talking about the deck like that, and I very much agree, and it feels a little bit like you're winning because people don't know how to play against your deck, and that always makes me, like, a little bit leery of recommending a deck, right?
Yeah, like when you play, when you have the ability to play 2 time bombs in the same turn and just like ping the whole board at one action, it's like that creates some awkward board state.
That is pretty good. I bet the amount of people you get with the when you play Ruination is like really high.
That's when you
like,
play 2 Ruinations.
I cast like Sivir spell, or not Sivir spell, who'd Zillion spell like twice in a game, and it's like it just like kills quick attackers. It dies, gets buffed, and then just kills the quick attacker. It's hilarious.
That does seem pretty good actually. For 7 mana though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Can't block
Like
like
Avenge
though. But it is sick. I would like to play. I think I'll get to Diamond, fingers crossed, this turn, and then I'll play 1 game of that so I can't lose LP, and then I'll switch back to like a real deck.
That actually reminds me. Does anyone have any thoughts on the Akshan Echo like counterfeit copies thing that Teal Red was playing? Has anyone seen that?
I stopped trying Teal Red decks.
Okay.
Months ago.
No, don't do it.
There's a similar deck made by like Scathis, which had like a Therming Storm, so you just discard 8 times.
Yeah.
I kind of know what I'm talking about. It's good when it works. I'll say that one.
It's good when it works.
It's like
when it wins, it's pretty sick.
The issue
It
is
reminds me of like Shellfolk, right? Like once you get to a certain turn, you're pretty much guaranteed to combo off if your opponent doesn't kill you before then. And
Okay,
usually you
yeah,
win by
but
then.
I like being able to play the game before turn 12.
It's like turn 8, 7, 8.
What did we say?
a lot of times you can combo off on like turn 7 or 8. The issue is that with this deck, it's a little bit less consistent than like the Ionia Infinite, right? I think the Ionia Infinite is just like literally a better deck. And it's always going to be more consistent. And like it still works. So if you're going to play an Infinite, just go play Ionia. You can run Eye, you can run Palm, you can run like good
Also,
cards.
please don't. You'll make
So-
me cry.
I thought the idea was like you didn't have to just do like this one infinite thing. Like you could have just like cloned the Hexite crystals with your counterfeit. You can clone your hordes, or you can clone Chrono Break if you find it. I mean, usually if you find Chrono Break, you're gonna win anyways. But like, there's a lot of different things you can put in the deck. So I thought like there were multiple outlets to win. But I mean, I haven't played the deck, so I was curious whether anyone had tried it. But if the only way to win is like the infinite thing, it's definitely
I watched like Mogwai try, or not Mogwai, I watched Grappler play it for like 15 games in a row, and he didn't grasp like the infinite part of it. So he was trying to play through like cat crystals and stuff like that. It just didn't do anything. You just ran out of cards so fast.
I feel like if you put like 7 cats in your or crystals in your deck, isn't that pretty good? You like predict, and then you hit like 3 crystals and you just kill everything.
Sounds like what he was trying to do.
I guess it didn't work.
But
I
I mean,
think the strongest part's the infinite parts.
Oh, okay. I see.
What is the? I haven't actually seen it.
It's the counterfeit.
you counterfeit the horde, and
Plus
then you draw a bunch
the-
of cards.
Archivist. You have Archivist.
It's really good with Archivist, because
Yeah.
Archivist, like you play her down for like 1 mana or whatever, right? If you hit an iterative, then you can just chain them for free. And then if you hit in horde, of course you're just drawing free cards, and you
The
know exactly what
Akshan
you're going to
horde.
draw.
I was thinking
Yeah,
HORDE, like a horde of something, and I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
what is it?
If you're really big guys, that's advantage.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Yeah, so it's just Akshan Infinite, Sans Ionia plus counterfeit copies.
It's okay.
It looks like a good content deck. Hint, hint.
Maybe someone should ship me that code really quick.
Oh no.
Ask Teal Red.
I'm already doing Poros for tomorrow. If I can figure that out. If I could make
If
that
you're
not
playing
suck.
Poros, then this is definitely about in that range.
I'm getting to the scraping the bottom of the barrel part. That's like honestly, if it wasn't, I think I'm so upset about Bandle City being in everything because it kills me content wise. It's just really hard to make new things when 20 cards are the same in every deck. Like
Okay,
that.
but Ajin, how many Targon's Peak decks have you played recently?
0 because they're so bad.
If you're just looking for content decks, isn't copying Teal Red exactly what you should be doing?
It probably
Kinda
is. Yeah,
true.
it probably is.
Yeah.
Mm.
Bay wants to play only the best decks, and then is also unhappy that there is only a handful of best decks.
They have to be at least a little good. Yeah.
I mean, Targon's Peak, I think, is actually, and I'm gonna get flamed as hell for this.
Oh yeah.
but I think
I'm
it's
ready.
actually a little bit undervalued right now.
Okay, I value it at -5, so I could agree with that.
All right, real talk. Back when I was running with the Madmen a lot more, that group kind of broke up, which is a little sad. I still miss the boys a little. But back when I was running with the Madmen, we had a version of Trundle Sol, which was basically the Targon's Peak deck, and we just took Targon's Peak out of it, and it was just a good Field of Rush deck. And I think that might be a thing again. That's on my list of things I need to mess around with.
Because Faces is really good, right?
Yeah, the 2-drop is actually suspiciously powerful right now.
I was watching, I think it was Seabass was playing a lot of just like Targon's Peakless Targon Peak, right? Like you just ramp instead.
What if instead I just play good cards?
It's always, like the deck always seems to do better against me when it doesn't have Targon's Peak. Either has Targon's Peak or hits the nuts and I still kill them, or like they just ramp up and cast big shit and I lose every now.
Yeah,
and then. I still don't think it's very good. But
And I also think Buried in Ice plus It That's Theirs is actually not the worst thing, which is actually kind of funny.
it gets me a lot.
Funny.
And you know it's coming. They cast Buried in Ice and you're like, no. And you know it's coming so hard, you already start overwriting your landmarks. Just playing other stuff because you're like, they're all gonna die anyway. It doesn't matter.
Real talk, Buried in Ice is like a real card, especially on ladder when nobody fucking
I
plays.
fucking lost to that, and it
I got
so hard.
I got got.
I think I cast it with Telescope or something. I got it randomly out the
This fucker main decked it. I don't know, man.
I don't know if I can do that. You'd have to, because you want to use Buried in Ice as essentially like just push your board, right? You cast Buried in Ice and then you attack and kill them. But like if you don't have that pressure, it's really bad because they're just like, okay, I'll attack you next turn, right? And I'm having a hard time finding a deck that has both like the control tool to get there and represents the board for it. Like if you're gonna run FTR, you just run like Gradation or something.
The answer is it was a Zed Elusive deck. You think I'm joking? I'm not joking.
Like a Miku Zed deck.
We have our own
We ran into Zed Brom with Buried in Ice. It was fun.
It was a little crazy.
That's so funny. Oh my god.
I don't think it's good. But
we thought it was Kiko loses past 4 turns in a row and they played Field of Rush.
They just like raved on me and then FTR to turn 9. It's like, what the fuck just happened?
like, well, bye.
That's so funny. Oh my god.
It's ridiculous.
I did play I played like Braum something Field of Rush. That was kind of fun.
I mean,
it was bad, but it was a good time.
Have you tried the Braum Poppy that went 9-0?
Yes, that was I played that too. That deck sucks.
It went 9-0, man. Did you go 9-0?
No,
That's all I'm saying.
I did not go 9-0. You're right. I know. I tried it and I was looking at the cards and I was like, this doesn't make sense. It's like I don't know how this deck wins. And then it did not. Spoiler alert. I can get with some games.
Right, this really doesn't make sense. Okay, bye.
Like the idea is sick. It's like, oh cool, I could like pump up Braum with Poppy. Hell yeah. But like if you're attacking with both your champions on the board and one of those Poppy, you're winning anyway.
That's very true.
And Braum's just like bad at that point because you would rather have like anything else. Anything that has like relevant elusive type, not elusive, but evasion type keywords and stuff like that.
But you're missing the point. Braum gives you overwhelm units, see, and then you can buff those up.
You're right.
Right?
I did win with the overwhelm pour. That was like usually my route to victory. Was really.
what if he main decked the Overwhelm Portal?
Whoa,
That's smart.
See, that's what I'm
Just
doing
skip the step.
today on YouTube though. It's I probably won't main deck the overwhelm one. I have to decide if I want to run Braum or run no champs. The YouTube commenter that said they requested no champs.
All right.
But, I always kind of like Braum in the Poro list.
I always like the Vi version with like whatever it's called.
Give it all.
Give it all,
Mhm.
and then you give everything like 10 attack and elusive.
That version's so high. Yeah.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Turns Poro Cannon into like such an insane card.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, that's all I got. We've talked about all the good decks. We've talked about the bad ones. and then we talk about worse ones.
Yeah.
So if anyone does have anything else, thank you guys for coming. I appreciate it. Be seeing you maybe on Wednesday. Wednesday night Runeterra, maybe?
Wednesday night Runeterra, baby.
Yeah, ladder once
5
you hit
p.m.
ladder,
Pacific.
huh?
Maybe. Okay.
Man, definitely not on ladder. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. It's gonna be a long time before I make it there.
Yeah, I've actually horror spots.
Yeah. Well, I also have to I probably won't do it this week because I'm leaving for Orlando on Thursday, and then I don't even fly back until Monday, and so I have to record double videos essentially. So my day is wake up, do stuff I have to do, record video, stream, record video. So I don't have time to actually play Runeterra, because playing Runeterra for content is not the same as trying to ladder. At least not for me. I'm more hang out with chat, and Runeterra is on the screen than anything else. So next week is probably going to be my buckle down and focus week. I'll get to Masters before the cards come out is the plan. Wait, I'll get to Masters before the cards come out is the plan, and then figure out what I want to do for seasonals then.
I don't know, babe. I'm starting to think you might need to start collecting those prime glories.
Oh no.
Wow.
Well, you got personal experience with missing seasonals though, don't you?
I do.
Oh man. All right.
Wait, real quick. I feel like Bay needs a little incentive for the seasonals.
Let's spell it bet.
First champ.
What?
Who's gonna be the first champ? The first to win 2 seasonals? Because it's gonna happen eventually. So who's gonna be the first to do it? My money's on Mo.
Nah,
It's gonna be Mo probably.
it's still gonna be what am I?
It's gonna be me.
It's gonna be
I can't win one of these things. I
That's
top
true.
every single one of them, but I just get smacked as soon as I get there.
Yeah, I think Mo's probably most likely.
If you count each top 4 finish as 1/4 of a first place,
Then heading
you probably get it.
Oh, that's
True. I'm almost just as close as the actual champions.
Yeah.
If only I can count like that for the money.
I think I'd have a decent chance of putting up a pretty big run again. But maybe not this season. Like I said, I haven't played. I've just been playing on stream, and even then, I haven't been streaming much because I was gone for 2 weeks, and then I'm gonna be gone every weekend for the next couple weeks. So it might not be this seasonal, but okay. But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing you have to consider. I think Ari's going to be in the next expansion. The next set, I think Ari's going to be in it.
The girl's gonna be here, and she's gonna charm Majin back. I understand.
Ari's been my icon since Ari was an icon. You could pick in Runeterra. She was my highest mastery champ in League of Legends. I almost bought the Secret Labs Ari chair, the one where it's red and it has the I will play the shit out of the game when Ari comes out.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine Ari comes out? She's just terrible.
She's the
Who has eyes on
awful,
Majin?
yeah.
Who has eyes on Bay?
Yeah. Yes. Watch through sign watch.
It is, and I'm so sorry, Majin. That's actually a really high likelihood.
Yeah.
You've seen something that looks like it's her synergy card, and it has the word recall on it, buddy. So you better get ready.
That card
That's true.
exists, and it is in the card pool.
And that's
not
that should
playable.
make
Yeah.
anyone who loves Ari very scared.
Recall.
Does
doesn't
anyone
make
know what
sense
it's
for
called?
Ari.
No.
Matriarch, tail click matriarch.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
nice.
You're on point, man.
You have the Ari chair and it's dope. Yeah, I'm super jealous. Recall just doesn't make sense with her
Did you know that card works on your opponent's followers as well? You recall your opponent's followers and you summon a copy of yours. I thought it worked on champions for a second. I was like, oh, I recall Scion and I summon a copy.
Wait, you recall there?
So it's oh my
And you get a
Yeah.
copy of it?
Yeah.
It's on.
I gotta
It's
Google
a-
this
it's
card. I don't know what it does.
It summons an ephemeral copy.
Wait, isn't that insane?
It's interesting.
wait,
It's
how
one-
much does
it's
she
one-
cost? She
It's
costs
once
like eight
around.
mana?
She's she's 5 mana, and
It's
it's once
the first
around, and it's
follower
ephemeral.
you recall. You summon a copy of it. I was hoping it
Oh,
worked out in champions, so you could play Katarina plus it, and then you summon Katarina that has rally.
Oh, you just attack, recall.
Yeah, well, it
but
only
it's
works
worse.
once a round.
It doesn't
Man,
work.
why
Yeah.
it's only
I
once
see.
per round?
But
And it
I
doesn't
thought it
change
also
it.
worked on like opponents' champions too. But then I saw followers and a lot of card stock.
Oh, right. It's followers only.
Mhm.
That ruins every card it touches, I swear.
Recall makes sense
You
for
can,
Ari
like-
or ult dashes. I think if you don't utilize her charm, that's weird. Because like that's kind of her identity, right? It's like her charm. She's the kitsune that like lures people to their death. I guess not anymore in the lore, but like her E is like the main part of her kit in League of Legends. I don't know, man. I'll be upset if she sucks. That's how I felt with Zoe. So like because Zoe's my second favorite champion. Well, my second most played champion in League of Legends or something. It's like at the time it was like Ari, Zoe, Rise. And so I went on Twitter and I didn't see Zoe yet. All I saw was people dogging on Zoe. And I was like, no, God, please don't be bad. And then I looked at the spoiler and I was like, she's nuts. What? It's Teemo that draws me cards. She's insane.
But it died to go hard.
It's so bad, man. It dies to Doomblade. So I'm hoping Ari's good. What if she recalls opponent stuff to your hand for a charm effect? I have no idea.
Maybe you
that
recall.
why-
opponents'
Wait. Is
hands
that why Yasuo and Ari were in the boat together?
to join Legends of Runeterra?
Ari and Yasuo were in the boat for the
Wait, we're getting Yasuo?
Ari and Yasuo are in the boat because of the game, the go to
Rune
kill
King.
the Rune King game. They're
That was
two of the four
perfectly timed. That
characters.
was just on
Oh,
time.
I didn't even know that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
If you use Homecoming with this card, do you get a copy of your card or their card?
it says first time, so probably not. I think you get a copy of your card. It's like bounce your ally in order to bounce one of theirs.
Right.
That's how
So it's only Will of Ionia and the Blade one.
Is there something like with a summon effect that this would be good enough on?
If only on
in
champions.
Ionia.
It'd have to be champions, but
Not
followers is just not good enough.
Yeah, because it's not champions. Like you have to like the only way you could be good is by proxy, like
Like you recall your
Like, yeah,
opponents, like
or something.
You also get the
like
boat. You wish.
Hitler, Destinata, Ledros.
Yeah, I don't think it.
Ledgers is a
good.
play effect.
Sure, but you get a 9/6 here. So.
That's the point.
that
The
you
chat's
already
asking,
had
what
on
do we think
board.
about what do we think about Void? There's not really anything to think about Void. It's not a region, right? So like, I think they're just gonna sprinkle the Void champions into the other regions, like we saw with Rek'Sai.
Yeah,
Just
there will probably
Void,
be
think.
a Void expansion where like you get like a bunch of Void champs in a bunch of different regions.
Mhm.
Like I don't know, like you put
I think-
Vel'Koz and Freljord or whatever. I don't know.
Kai'Sa will probably be like Targon. Kassadin could probably go like Targon or
They'll figure it out.
something else. They'll probably figure it out.
I don't know.
All right. For the fourth time, that's all I have to say. This time for realsies.
All right.
All right. Thanks everybody for coming.
Hey guys.
I'll see you guys.